Are we fucking ready? Let's go. Hard in the paint in the building. Another episode of Gloriousness. Greatness. I'm saying all types of words that don't make sense, but I'm hyped. I'm excited for today. And let me tell you why. I could be talking about the Lakers beating the Suns in the tournament and advancing, and LeBron adding another staple to his belt. But I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about LeBron calling a timeout and getting that cheating ass call. Yes, we cheated, but we did fucking win. I'm talking about we have a new member to the fucking show. I call him Gen Z Skip Bayless because he has a lot of takes that get a lot of people angry. They're outlandish, but they're fucking exciting. A lot of people said, don't have that guy back on that podcast. Fire him. You know what we did? We hired him. So it's time to make a round of applause for the GOAT, Jack Cody.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here.
Is there anything you want to say to the people before we open up?
Yeah, I still believe Nikola Jokic is not a top 5 player in basketball.
Nah, we're fucked.
And we're back.
Do you truly believe that?
No, you don't.
I look at the game and I understand who's in the league right now and the star power and, personal preference. There's 5 guys I'd rather have on my team.
All right. I don't think you can honestly say that, bro, because 5 guys. First of all, Jokic is dominating the league. He could be MVP again. Obviously, he's top 3 at least. If you said he was 5, I could be like, all right, 5. But saying he's not top 5, that's fucking crazy. So I understood why people were mad at you about that.
Yeah, no, rightfully so. You win the, back-to-back MVPs. You almost win a 3rd in a row. You win a championship. There's really nothing I can say other than the fact that there's a guy named LeBron James. There's a guy named Kevin Durant. There's a guy named Jason Tatum and Stephen Curry and Luka Doncic. I just named you 5 guys I would rather have.
But Jokic ran through all of them.
I think it's 1 year of it. I think it's 1 year of it. And I honestly, I would put my faith in the 5 guys I just named over Jokic.
So what does Jokic have to do to be in your top 5?
Nothing.
There's nothing he can do.
What the hell, man?
There's nothing he can do. He's a great basketball player. It might be biased, but it might just be the truth because at the end of the day, the 5 guys I named are going to have more successful careers when it's all said and done.
I don't know about that. I think this right now saying Jokic is the best player in the league is like the easiest take that you can make because a lot of times you have guys where it's like, oh, like the stats say this guy's better. And then there's the other side of people who are like, yeah, but his team doesn't win. Like this guy leads his team to championships. He does both those things. It's easy. He's the best player in the league.
He might go down as probably top 3 centers of all time.
The way the media talks about him.
I mean, if you like stats, he got that. If you like accolades, he got that. So, I mean, you're saying a longevity, right? When you look at LeBron and you look at KD, like they're still hooping to this day.
Yeah.
With Jokic, he doesn't like basketball that much in terms of like being in the NBA. So he's only going to be here for a few years and he's going to check out. So, I mean, I feel like you got to manage him on what he does now in that sample size right now, because like we won't have that longevity with Kevin Durant and LeBron. But I feel like even with Kevin Durant, like, are you counting his Golden State Warriors championships comparable to Jokic and what he did and how he made his run?
I'm counting his greatness in this very moment and the fact that he might be the best scorer and best one-on-one basketball player this game has ever seen, and that doesn't go away with age. He's still going to be able to do that. Does he have the ability to carry a team? Maybe not the way that Jokic does, but we're talking about skill set. Kevin Durant might be the best basketball player we've ever seen. LeBron James, on the other hand, is not done yet, and we saw that last night.
Rebuttal that.
What's better, being a complete offensive player or being a great scorer? Complete offensive player means you're a great scorer, you're a great passer, spacing on the floor, you can do everything. You are a hub. That's what Nikola Jokic is. Now, Kevin Durant is a better shooter, all-in-all scorer. So it's easy to look at that and be like amazed because like he hits that shot. But Jokic is out there and he's getting hockey assists. He's getting regular assists. He's scoring when he needs to. He's not forcing his shot. The results are there. Like I think that KD is a little bit more exciting and like flashier. So maybe that is why you look at him and he caters to you more. But one of these things is way harder than the other, and that's what Jokic does.
There's something about Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James that I continue to hold on to because we just need to appreciate their greatness, and they're still doing it. What we saw from LeBron last night, I'm not a LeBron guy, and that proved to me he's still probably the guy that every GM would take first.
Listen, I don't know if you noticed about me, but I love LeBron.
I know
James.
you do.
That's my goal.
I know you do.
And I have Jokic over him right now, right? Jokic is better than LeBron James right now. Like, if I'm saying that, then I know for a fact. I watched this man run through the Lakers. There's nothing that he could do. I wanted this whole fucking campaign of like, yo, Anthony Davis is the best in the league. And when he gets to Jokic, he's going to smash him and all. No, it was the opposite, my brother. So now I see the proof is in the pudding. I wanted this whole I hate Jokic campaign. And then they couldn't do nothing with him. LeBron looked old in that series. I think LeBron lost that series. And then he went on and smashed everybody that I liked in the West. I didn't like the Suns, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
I think that when he does that, when you see the resume and he's continuing to do that, that's the best team in the league, dog. Like, you can't say that they're not. The Denver Nuggets are the best team in the league. So
yeah, I will say
because of Jokic.
I will say this about the Nuggets. Like, I was talking to my dad about the knockout teams and the 8 teams that made the in-season tournament, and my dad asked me, he's like, "Well, where's Denver? Is there a flaw to the in-season tournament because supposedly the best team in the entire NBA isn't in the in-season tournament? Where's Denver at?" But I think it just gives credit to what the product of the in-season tournament is, which is giving a chance to a team like the Pacers or the Sacramento Kings, the New Orleans Pelicans, and it's a different look at the NBA. But it's not to say that Jokic isn't good. It's not to say that he isn't one of the best players in the NBA. It's more to preach the greatness that is surrounded in the NBA right now. And I would just rely on the guys I've said over Jokic.
Well, people are going to hate us again, but I appreciate that. So you made a good point. Like, why the Denver Nuggets not in the in-season tournament, right? Mm-hmm. And the Minnesota Timberwolves weren't either. Now, if you put that into context, the Minnesota Timberwolves are the number 1 team in the league. They have the best record. To me, having a number 1 seed record or having a number 1 record before All-Star break doesn't mean anything to me, right? Because if you look at the teams, it's OKC, the Nuggets, and it's the Thunder. I mean, it's OKC, Minnesota, and the Nuggets, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like OKC, like, they're a good team. But are they going to go to the finals? No, they're not a contender to me.
They're like a Sacramento that's going to give somebody a 6 to 7 game hard fought series.
Exactly. So I'm looking at the Timberwolves. I like what Ant Edwards is doing. I think that he's pushing them to another level. That's why they are the 1 seed. Obviously, he's dealing with some injuries. Cat is playing well, but at the same time, when it comes down to
and the other guy who we all like
Rudy
to
Gobert
dog on,
is playing well,
anchoring the number 1 defense in the league.
Listen, that's been the same storyline. Rudy Gobert. Great.
No, you're right.
Season.
You're right.
When we get to the playoffs, smash them.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
But I think that it doesn't mean anything to me. I think it's nice, but before All-Star breaks, you see teams are cruising. Like, I kind of feel like if they're not in the in-season tournament right now, besides like the Nuggets, I'm probably not worried about them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be dangerous too because Anthony Edwards has been out recently. He's coming back now. And he's that guy. We're sleeping on someone shouted out like Mike Conley. It might have been like Chuck the other day, who's like still just like hitting like timely shots, good spot up shooter for that team. Like they have a lot of underrated pieces. I don't know. I like the Timberwolves. I feel like we shit on the Timberwolves because we go, oh, they're the Timberwolves. They're this like goofy franchise that never does anything right. None of that shit matters if you have a sick roster, and they have a sick roster.
Listen, I'm the type of person, I have to see it to believe it.
100%.
Prove it to me. I said the same shit about the Denver Nuggets. I said they ain't gonna do shit when they get to the playoffs. They ask. Now with the Timberwolves, like they're the number 1 seed. You've seen like times where like the Atlanta Hawks were the number 1 seed, and you see LeBron. I mean, LeBron's different, but he smashed through them, swept them. You know, like that happens sometimes. Or even when the Denver Nuggets were the number 1 seed and they got cooked up. So I'm not gonna put my stock into somebody being the number 1 season, especially at the NBA. You know how that goes. Like teams just cruise through the regular season, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think the Timberwolves are obviously like a complete team. They got the defense, and they have Anthony Edwards, the guy who can literally win a game for you. He single-handedly beat the Boston Celtics. So, yeah, Minnesota has a chance to do some cool things this year just in general, but I'm totally with you. I said it about the Nuggets before they actually won a championship, and I would say it again with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I got to see it to believe it, and I don't think they're going to beat a team like Denver or the Lakers with the experience that they have. I mean, are we talking about the Clippers right now? Probably not, but if the Clippers make the playoffs and find their way, I would even take the Clippers over
them. Jack, don't you ever bring up the Clippers on this fucking podcast again.
To win a series, to win a playoff series, never a championship. The Clippers will never win a championship.
Fair. You agree with that, Colin?
No. Again, because we say, oh, it's the Clippers, and oh, they're never going to win a championship because they've been this goofy franchise that has always choked. That's the past. That doesn't matter. Do I think they're going to win a championship this year? No, but I hate how we just look at these teams and they say, oh, like the Nuggets were one of those teams where it was like, oh, the Nuggets, they never do well in the playoffs. And you're basing that all off the past. Yeah. Who the fuck, if you're a good
why shouldn't we base it off the past?
They have
though?
James Harden. That is
because
like throwing a negative.
Right now and base it on the team that's in front of you, not the goofiness and the trolling that comes with the team name.
But it's not the goofiest. It's like, all right, if a person shows you who they are, believe them until they change your mind. And I feel like that's what the Clippers have been. That's what James Harden has been. So, like, when you talk about James Harden, you bring him up, we want James Harden to do good. But when he went to the Clippers and now how it started off, you're already seeing some glimpses of fuck shit. So my thing is, like, I'm already seeing that. So it's just adding to the fuel to the fire why I think the Clippers won't win a championship in this tight fucking window.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win a championship this year. I'm saying this team will never win because just like we say, the Dallas Cowboys, they always choke in the playoffs. They're never going to win. If you have a good team, you have a chance to win. That stuff's all like fugazi. Like,
I just think they get like the Lakers are there, and it's always going to be the Lakers' town.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
I don't know, bro.
That's what I'm talking about. As a Boston Celtics fan.
Yeah,
too.
bro, I got you. Fucking Clippers, bro.
I'll say this for the Clippers. There's going to be a lot of people who are sitting around and are looking for something to do in LA who have been going to the Staples Centers for years on years and years. And there's going to be this new state-of-the-art stadium with a mile long of a video board and all these games and like 100 toilets. People are going to go to those fucking games at the very least toilets. To check it out. And that's going to help the Clippers.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking toilets.
That's a lot of toilets. Who's taking shits? James Harden mid-game?
So Steve Ballmer like went crazy about like the toilets. Like he was like, we don't want anyone in line. Like we want our fans like in the seats, stuff like that.
So I learned this back in like second grade, I think it was, about how when you're doing, multiplication and you do a negative with a negative and it makes a positive, right? So James Harden and the Los Angeles Clippers are both negatives, but you put them together. Does that make a positive? Now,
theory will only take you so far.
Yeah, I ain't going to go that far because I ain't a Clippers believer. I'm not a James Harden believer, but they got a whole lot of talent. They're going to get people in those seats, and it's definitely a different Clippers team than what
we need to pivot because we've been talking about, but to piggyback off that, so far, they can't fill that motherfucker up for shit. But and they shout out the Rams. But anyway, Pelicans, Pacers, Bucks, Lakers advance in the in-season tournament, right? Now, here's my thing. We have to do predictions, right? Because people love when we do predictions. They get mad at us. So who do you have winning the Pacers and Bucks and Pelicans and Lakers?
I think we're just going to get the matchup that is expected and we want it. And as much as the Pacers have been very fun to watch, Tyrese Haliburton is balling. And then the same thing with the Pelicans. They've kind of come up this year as a legitimate threat. But this is the Lakers championship to win, frankly. And if it's not the Lakers, it's Milwaukee. We can talk about that in a second, but I'm going to take the Lakers. I'll take Milwaukee. And then I'm going to take the Lakers to win this whole thing.
I'm gonna let you cook. I'm gonna serve it up.
I think Pelicans Lakers is going to be a phenomenal game. I think both those teams match up really well. I think they're both big down low with like Valanciunas and Zion and AD and LeBron. Obviously, both got good guys on the wing. I think that it's going to go down to the wire, but I'm taking the Lakers to beat out the Pelicans just because the Pelicans are just getting CJ back. They're just starting to gel, just like in the clutch. I trust the Lakers more. I'm actually taking the Pacers to beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the Final Four. I think that the Pacers, they have the number one offense in the league. The Bucks have not been a good defensive team this year. I just don't think they're going to be able to stop them. And then I'm going with the Lakers to beat the Pacers too.
This is the most love I will ever give the Los Angeles Lakers, by the way. This is it. It might be because my Celtics got knocked out in the first round.
I think LeBron is very conscious. He's obviously very conscious of his legacy. And no one knows how much we're going to care about this in-season tournament thing as we do it for years and years and years. We're going to talk about it later. But I think that he's looking at it and he's like, that's something cool that I can stick to my resume to say I won the first ever of this. So I think he's motivated.
You stole my point. Listen, the Lakers going to beat the dog shit out of the fucking Pelicans. And let me tell you why, right? LeBron, he's not losing 500K. He's cheap. I really believe that.
Yeah.
LeBron is cheap. He has 500K, and he can add to his actual legacy. And you see how he's playing now. Because if you look at the season, we're like, which LeBron are we going to get? Last night, we got LeBron versus KD and Book, and you saw what he was doing facilitate the Lakers past them. Now, so I'm not worried about the Pelicans and their youth, their inexperience, and yeah, they're getting better, and I like what they're doing. Yes, they beat the Kings, but the Kings are a middle of the pack team. Now, when you look at the Bucks and the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton, I love you. You are the GOAT. You are the greatest. You're going to be phenomenal. You're going to be Hall of Famer. Tyrese Haliburton, what he did to the Celtics, I mean, that was impressive, bro.
That shot, bro.
26, I think 12 assists. I think that is something that we shouldn't take lightly because the Celtics are a championship team. And seeing what they were doing, and they were saying before the game, Drew Holiday's gonna put Tyrese Haliburton in the blender, and they're great against assists and point guards and shit like that. He had Drew Holiday in a blender. You saw that clip when he did the fucking spinner Rooney and then Tyrese Haliburton. I love that kid. So if he could do that to the Celtics, he can definitely do it to Giannis and the fucking great Chris Middleton and the boys.
Yeah.
I think
their point of attack defense, booty cheeks.
Yeah, and I just think transition. I think that's the Pacers play fast. I think the Bucks like to play that too in some sort of way. But I think with Dame and Giannis, Dame was phenomenal last night.
Phenomenal.
But I like the Pacers versus the Lakers, and obviously I'm taking the Lakers to win it. The whole thing. LeBron wants that adding to his resume and that 500K. Who doesn't want 500K? 500K is 500K, no matter if you're a billionaire or not.
I just checked the stats, by the way. Jordan, no in-season tournament.
Yeah.
So, LeBron does have that.
Yeah, exactly.
There is that.
Huge if true.
Oh shit. All right.
Cup.
You want to ask this question?
Oh, is this the
How much do you guys value the NBA Cup compared to a title? Because Melo said that it's not Larry, but it's Gary. I don't know what that means on the scale, but he seems to think it matters.
Shit,
deal.
Rick Barry.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be one of those things down the line. Like he brought up Michael Jordan, right? And I think that was a great point because when you look at the in-season tournament, I think the in-season tournament is one of those things that would have been, if it was in the 90s, people wouldn't shut the fuck up out. Like if like Jordan won like 5 straight in-season tournaments. How many did LeBron win? How many in-season tournaments? Michael Jordan won 5 in-season tournaments and 6 championships. So I think that's just adding to a lower up players. So I think that's going to be down the line. Like whoever wins that in the future, that's going to be building on your resume. And it's like you're going to have a title along with an in-season tournament because you can win a tournament. I mean, you can win a championship now and they still try to discredit you, right? They be like, oh, well, you was on X, Y, and Z team. But now if you win a championship and an in-season tournament, that means you're just dominant through the whole fucking league. So, I mean, I think we should take it serious. But is it along the lines of a fucking ring? Let's be serious here. It's a series. We're talking a knockout tournament. You can have one bad night. I think this is the NBA's version of March Madness. And I think it's going to be better and better all the time. But I don't think we should line it up with a ring because you can have that 500K. If you don't got that fucking Larry O'Brien, baby, I don't know what to tell you.
I think if the Indiana Pacers win it, then we're going to look at the in-season tournament a lot differently than if the Lakers win it or if the Bucks win it. And maybe that's just a bad judgment, opinion. But at the end of the day, if LeBron James and the Lakers win this cup, we're going to hear about it. And it is going to be a legacy win for LeBron James.
The way I see it is like, it's on us, the fans, to care about it because value is all in what you perceive. Like a championship ring, at the end of the day, is just like a piece of jewelry at its core. But to us, it is why this player is better than that player. For Hall of Fame voters, it's why this guy is going to get his name in the Hall of Fame, why it's not. So it's all about perception. So I think we have to, if it's hard to build that out of nowhere. Like if you look back, NBA championship in 1947, it was the first NBA championship. If you're walking down the street and you're like, oh, I'm an NBA champion, people will probably like, okay, like I guess that's cool, but like you're not gonna like go all crazy about it. It's not what it is today. I mean, this is the first year of the in-season tournament, so you're starting from the base. It's all ground up. But if you build it, and we see it's this year, so we're gonna need Hall of Fame eligibility. But if guys are starting to debate it, guys, Hall of Fame eligibility and someone brings up in-season tournament and the ball starts rolling and it goes from there. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we'll slowly see it emerge from what it is now. Then it'll be something along the lines as like All-Star Game MVP. Like NBA lists that when they do Hall of Fame eligibility. But like no one cares about it a whole lot. We'll go from there and I'll keep building.
I think, between the GOAT debate, either you have Michael Jordan or you have LeBron James. But at this point, you either have one of the two. Is LeBron James, if LeBron James wins this cup, does that mean that someone that's kind of in between with that debate, it gives LeBron the edge? Or would you say that the in-season tournament wouldn't have that much of a value to put LeBron over MJ just for this one singular win?
I'm putting LeBron over MJ. Regardless.
I know you are. But if I'm
can't...
someone like that's like for me, I try and put Steph Curry in that debate. For me, I think LeBron James can pass Michael Jordan, and so can Steph Curry. I think Michael Jordan is going to be the third greatest basketball player of all time when LeBron James and Steph Curry both hang out.
It won't be because of the in-season tournament, though, because you can't fault a guy for not winning something that didn't exist when he was there.
Yo, saying Steph Curry's going to be better than Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan's going to be the third best player is crazy. Because, first of all, you just skip Kareem, you skip Kobe. And now I can make the argument that he's better than Kobe, than Steph Curry, but people are not going to like that.
No, they won't.
But
that's for another day.
I'm just saying to you, saying that Steph Curry is better than Michael Jordan is fucking crazy.
Not yet, but
when it's all said and done, never.
No, when it's all said and done, because he gets 2 to 3 championships more.
Jack, look at me. It's not going to happen. It's never.
He doesn't care about defense.
He doesn't.
We've been over
and
that.
That's the big divider, right?
And
there.
His scapegoat on defense, he got one leg now. So we're gonna get to that in a second. But he ain't the same no more. So I mean, Steph Curry's never gonna win another championship again. I hope you know that. Like ever. Like think about it. It's done.
I think he has 3 more in his bag if given the right situation.
I'm gonna keep you a bean. Not with that team.
Not with
going to the Nets.
with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. I think in an alternate universe, they could maybe get to 5. I think Draymond Green and Klay Thompson both want to get to 5. Steph Curry wants to get to 6. He wants to get to 7. And Steph Curry is the guy that has the longevity to play for 5 more years of prime basketball, maybe even 7 more years. He ain't slowing down.
You said Draymond and Klay can get to 5?
Yeah.
Yo, I can't wait to have that discussion because I'm going to heat you up on that. That's not going to fucking happen. That's not. But let's chill. Jack, come out to play. I'm so glad you joined this week, because, the Celtics got eliminated from the in-season tournament. Are the Boston Celtics in trouble?
I knew I was coming in here for the first time, as a host of the show on Wednesday, and I was really looking forward to come in here with, honestly, just a full decked out Jason Tatum gear and everything. And
do you sleep with Celtics gear?
If we win.
Jack got a Celtics thong.
Yeah. But no, we're not in trouble. If anything, this allows me to believe that this team is going to win the NBA Finals this year and gives me more confidence that they're going to be hungry come playoff time. And frankly, what I saw on social media about Jason Tatum choking during big games, the Celtics not being able to get over the hump, they're tired of hearing that. It's coming to an end this year.
You told me they weren't tired of it last year or the year before?
They've always been tired of it. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
They always listen, man. The Celtics
heard it here first. They want to win this year.
Listen, to your credit, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown did drop 30.
They played well. This was Derek White, Drew Holiday, and the entire team just not getting it done.
The Boston Celtics go as far as Kristaps Porzingis goes. So if Porzingis is not healthy, the Celtics are not winning a championship. I think that is the extra element. That is the unicorn.
What?
Cancel. Kristaps Porzingis is the X factor for the Boston Celtics. So if he isn't healthy, you can kiss that championship goodbye. Like I said, that is going to be the scapegoat for Tatum to take the pressure off him in the playoffs, right? You got a guy that's 7 feet tall that can go get a bucket that extends that you have to worry about with Jason Tatum. Now, Jaylen Brown, great player, but them two together, that's not enough, bro. And you never know what type of Jaylen Brown that you're going to get on any given night. We talk about AD. Jaylen Brown is along those fucking lines, like maybe even worse. So I think that when you look at that roster, if KP is not there, you You say sayonara.
I would look at it in a little different way. I would say that with Kristaps Porzingis, they are unbeatable, and you can play the rest of the season. But if Kristaps is healthy come playoff time, and that team is together, nobody touches them.
So say that
I agree
the
with you.
Boston Celtics. No, but those say
The Boston Celtics
with Kristaps Porzingis
with Kristaps Porzingis
is unbeatable.
is unbeatable.
I mean, no one's unbeatable in today's NBA, but I think that's the best five or 6, 7 in the league. I think it's the Celtics championship to lose, but I do think, having watched the Celtics a lot this year, if they lose this year, it will be Jason Tatum's fault, because their best possessions are when Tatum and Brown are driving or they're dominating the low post and they're swinging the rock around and they're getting the best shot they can in those 24 seconds. When they get into trouble is when Tatum holds the ball or Brown holds the ball. And it happens a lot of times in close games when you get down into the fourth quarter and Tatum's still taking too many contested threes.
Okay, I would completely disagree with that.
They are so good at moving the ball and getting open shots. That is a better shot than Jason Tatum's sidestep hand in the face.
I understand your point completely, and when the Celtics are able to move the ball and score,
there's no one better.
Score with efficiency, it is absolutely beautiful. I think there was a play at the end of a first half against Brooklyn or something earlier in the year where they kicked it out, found 5 passes, Tatum gets a buzzer beater 3. But I will say this: the Celtics' problem during the playoffs is when Jason Tatum doesn't have the ball, when he doesn't touch the ball for the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter.
I'm not saying he shouldn't touch the ball.
I know, but what they need to do a better job of is just give the ball to Jason Tatum and let him win, let him fail, let him succeed.
That's cap.
No,
That's
he's
cap.
not Kobe.
You know what? That's cap because they did that and he was stinking it up.
Yes.
PU, the TD
It's
Garden smelled like
it is
ass.
better to work for
when
a
was
team
he-
shot every single time than to have a guy play hero.
When was he?
Every single time.
When was he stinking it up? What game are we talking about? Just in
He
general?
started
or
like
is there a
1 of
specific
17
one?
from the field in that one game against the Sixers.
Yeah.
He had a great game right after, but I think he started 1 of 14 the game before that.
You don't gotta ask me. You
It's
watched
just,
the game.
it's
No,
just
I
good
know.
basketball.
I
Good
just-
basketball is sharing and getting a good look.
There are fourth quarters during
This
that
ain't the
playoff run in the
2005s.
past 2 seasons where Jason Tatum does not touch the ball for 6 to 7 minutes, and we lose the game.
But also, and you talked about this great 5. What's the point of having that great 5 if you're not going to use it? If you're going to tell one guy to have it and score?
I think against the Pacers, you saw it. Tatum got the ball 4 straight possessions and made a Kobe-like shot time and time again. And he has that ability. But when they start to go, hey, pass it here, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, when you get those guys involved a little too much.
I'm not counting on those guys. Those guys aren't going to be playing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm talking
and
about
anytime they
Derek
have
White,
it,
Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Porzingis, all capable shooters, all guys who can get a bucket.
I want to get the ball out of Al Horford's hands as much as possible.
So let's do this. I always say these teams are fun, but the Pelicans, they're a fun team, right? Are the Pelicans officially a contender? They just beat the Kings in the in-season tournament. They beat them 3 straight. The Kings are supposed to be the team where you're like, oh, they're making the next step with D Fox and Sabonis and Malik Monk off the bench. Oh, we love them. But like after seeing that and seeing what Zion and BI looks fucking great. He dropped 30 on them boys. I think he's really coming into himself. I think that when you look at that team with CJ as that veteran leadership, and then you have like Herb Jones or you have Grand Theft Alvarado, whatever the fuck his name is. I think that you got to appreciate that roster because it's a well-built team, and Zion is finally getting to it. Even though Zion looked out of shape the other night. But
Yeah.
I think that you got to keep in mind that this is what we wanted to see for them. So like now that they're at that point, are they a contender?
I am so glad I held on to my Pelicans stock because I do think they are a championship contender. They're a team that's capable if they can stay healthy. Shooting, defense, rebounding. You ask me any of the things that are important. I can tell you 1 or 2 guys who do that well on that team. It's all about staying healthy. They're healthy right now. They're cooking.
Yeah, I think
there's no secret. I love the Pelicans.
I think they're a great matchup with any team come playoff time. A team like Minnesota would definitely compete very well against the Pelicans, but that would be a great series. I would kind of compare like what the Timberwolves have versus what the Pelicans have. Now, obviously, what Ant Edwards does is completely different than what Zion Williamson does, but they're kind of 2 young and hungry teams coming up, and they can make some noise come playoff time.
I mean, like, I want to.
Ask me. Think of a hole in their rotation, and I'll give you the answer. Like Herb Jones is one of the best wing defenders in the league. He can play everywhere. He's got verticality. He can guard off ball. He can guard on ball. CJ McCollum is a great offensive facilitator, great shooter. Trey Murphy, another long defender, great shooter. Valanciunas is one of the best rebounders in the league. Zion can bully down low. Ingram can kill in the mid-range. You got Larry Nance Jr., who's your stretch 5. He's hurt right now, but he can switch. He can go against a guy like Gobert and like punish him.
This man knows his Pelicans
They're fucking
ball.
loaded. You got Jose Alvarado running around like a scrappy dog, swatting balls away and stealing the ball from people. This team is complete.
It's a good city to win in, too.
Well, are they winning the championship? No. So
No,
they're not contenders.
They're a good play. If you want to take a long shot bet, do it.
They're not winning the championship.
Lose
You
all
want to
your
throw
money.
$5 on something that is a great team that no one is going to pick to win? Do it.
Listen, man. No. All right. LeBron. Huh? Oh, I apologize. We have sponsors here. We got to get bills paid, as always. But like me, your guy, Jason Tatum, won me some money last night. Hey, not last night, the night before, saying having 30 points. I bet on that guy. So, if you're like me and you want to bet, head to thegameday.com for the best offers on FanDuel. Yes, you can bet $5 on any money line and you get back $150. That sounds great? Bonus credit to bet with, not your own money. You should definitely do that. So head over to FanDuel right now. Not even FanDuel, thegameday.com first, and then go to FanDuel and then get that money because we all want to get paid. All right, back to the show. All right.
Smooth.
Listen, Ime Udoka went out LeBron James. Ime Udoka called LeBron James a bitch. He told him to stop bitching. And I want to say this, man. Who the fuck you think you talk to? Don't you ever talk about LeBron James like that? Are you fucking high? Like you said to LeBron,
glorious king.
Yeah, my glorious king. Nah, you said to LeBron James, like, what you gonna do? Like, stop that bitch shit. And like, don't get me wrong, I can understand. Listen, I respect that. If a player's doing some bitch ass shit, call him a bitch.
What was he doing?
I don't know. He was complaining about a call, and then Ime Udoka was like, "Yo, you ain't gonna do nothing. What is he supposed to fight you on the sideline and have Malice at the Palace Part 2 in fucking Houston?" Listen. That's why Young Jeezy is gonna get knee long, and you're gonna be mad about that because your dumbass cheated on that beautiful black queen. So fuck you. But don't you ever come out LeBron James again in your fucking life. LeBron is king. But no. On some serious note though. I kind of like that though. I think it's good for the sport. I like when coaches are chirping at players. I think it's entertaining. I like when I see passionate coaches. And I said the Houston Rockets gave Dylan Brooks the right coach. They can both hate LeBron and Spirit. I think that's what I need. And I think that's why the NBA is so great because there's so much talent, there's so much drama, there's so many storylines. And when they play each other again, we're definitely going to be looking for that. So I appreciate that. Talk that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I respect Ime Udoka for just yapping to LeBron like that. I think we need more of that in the NBA. And I'm sure it was all over the NBA in the 80s and 90s, and we didn't have the mics to catch it up or whatnot. But get that ref out of there. He should not be in there. Get him out. I know he's a ref and whatever. Get him out of there. Let the coach talk to the player and let them go at it. That is entertaining as heck. I love it. Udoka keeps saying what you're saying. Bron keeps saying what you're saying. But there's no reason for the ref to be in that conversation.
I mean, shit can get out of hand, so he kind of has to be. But I think that, like, I don't think it's the ref's fault. I just think that I think it was just good entertainment. We gotta appreciate moments like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA loves drama. Like, that's not a secret. I want to just shout out the guys who are on Twitter who, when this first happened, they go down and they read the lips of each guy. I think Rob Perez, I saw him do it when CP3 was beefing with, for like the 1,000th time, Scott Foster. That's got to be like hours and hours of work. Like that's crazy. And it's good for us because now we get to know what happened.
NBA players beefing with anybody but players is the best shit ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Russell Westbrook and any fan,
that's cinema. I love that. Listen,
you just stop the game. He'll look like into the stands and be like, bro, what?
That interaction where he was on OKC and I think it was the opening night and some huge Sixers fan just jumped up and like flipped on the double bird and Russ just like is one of my favorite like NBA fans.
Listen, we need a Marcus Smart moment when he jumped in the stands and he tried to beat up everybody.
Yeah.
He tried to beat up that guy.
OSU,
yeah. But listen, MVP. MVP. Listen, we're gonna give our MVP race. We're gonna rank them in order. We're gonna do top 3. So since you're the new guy, I know you're gonna say something fucking wild, man. Let's go first. Entertain the world. 1, 2, 3. You can do 3, 2, 1 backwards.
Top 3 for MVP
No, start with
right
2.
now. All right. No, I'm gonna start with 1.
Okay, do your thing.
All right, let me just put it this way. I think any version of Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, and Anthony Edwards as your 3 MVPs of the league, that's who I'm taking. I would say Jason Tatum deserves to win MVP. His team is stacked, so he probably won't win it. Steph Curry, not on Golden State, makes Golden State a goddamn poverty organization and franchise, and they won't win a single game for the rest of the season. Steph Curry is the definition of an MVP. He's been robbed of the award many times, like your boy LeBron James. So I would have no problem with giving it to Steph Curry if he gets healthy and plays the rest of the season. But obviously, got to give credit where credit is due, and Anthony Edwards is that guy.
Nah.
I
don't have any of those guys, and it's a boring answer, but it's Nikola Jokic is number 1. He's the only guy who's top 10 in points, assists, rebounds.
You should
on
cancel
a
the
good team.
award if they give it to Jokic again.
Why? He's the best player in the league. He's top 10 in every major stat, or the 3 major stats. The only one who's top 10 in the 3 major stats.
If he's close, if Jokic is close to winning the MVP, I'm going to start another.
The most valuable player should win MVP.
Is the NBA racist?
I got Joel Embiid too because he's the leading scorer. I just feel like that's a given. I mean, I'm throwing these in here because it's December and it's, you know, there's not a whole lot of like strong cases you can make, being the fact that it's so early. But yeah, Jokic top 3 or is top 10 and the 3 major stats. Embiid is the leading scorer. Luka's right behind him. He's my 3rd just because I think that he's in a similar situation with Steph where you take him off Dallas, it's going to be trouble.
Yeah. I like Luka.
Emphasis on the word value to your team.
I got 3, right? 3 and 2 are boring, but I had to do it because I'm going to spice it up. At 3, we're going with Giannis. I think he's 30 points per game, 10 rebounds a game. I think how could you not say it? Giannis it's been phenomenal, I think. 2, we're going with the guy you hate, Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Top 5 player. You know what I'm saying? Maybe all time.
Fuck you.
Maybe all time. That's crazy.
And at 1, I have Tyrese Haliburton.
Oh,
ooh,
wow, that's some spicy.
And tell me I'm wrong. Listen, if you look at what he's doing with that roster in fucking Indiana to lead them to the promised land of beating the Celtics, I think you have to add that to his resume so far. It's early in the season. Yes, I feel like these teams are far in between. I think his shooting performance has been fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I think his shooting and then his assists, I think he's averaging 12 assists a game, and you're doing that with 26 a game. I think we can't take that for granted. I think we're in a magical time. We're seeing a player rise to superstar status. And I think Tyrese Haliburton deserves to be in the MVP conversation. I don't see how you can not put him in the MVP. I don't see how you can not put Tyrese Haliburton in the MVP conversation. I don't see how.
Do you remember when the Pacers had Victor Oladipo and it was like a pretty electric
top
time?
3 team in the East before he got hurt.
And then it proceeded to be a lot of down years for the Pacers. I remember a couple of years ago, just even 2 years ago, going to Pacers games, and that stadium was empty. And Tyrese Haliburton has completely just brought life to the organization. So as much as I want to disagree with you, he beat my Celtics, and he's balling points, assists, and he's brought life to an organization.
I thought you were about to compare
I did
Victor Oladipo to Tyrese Haliburton. Yeah. I was about to have a fucking heart attack.
No.
It
was just part of the story.
Okay, it was good. I see where you're going, but at the beginning, I was like, holy shit.
Other than the fact that Steph Curry does this at every single stadium he goes to, I remember watching Steph go to the Pacers, and it was 90% Warrior fans, or maybe not Warrior fans, but it was 90% Steph Curry fans and like 10% Pacer fans. That fan base has there's life now.
Random. This is completely has nothing to do with that. When the Cavs played the Golden State Warriors, there was a guy that had a sign. He was like, I may be Indian, but I hate curry. I don't know why. That just sticks in my head. It was a good sign. The NBA is better than the NBA has more stars than the NFL.
Yeah, Mark Cuban said something the other day. Basically, I mean, the NFL, it gets all this entertainment. It gets all this, people want to watch the NFL. It's a ritual, Thursday, Sunday, Monday. But at the same time, even though the NBA might not be as popular, it has more popular players. It has bigger stars. You look at the top 10 NBA players right now versus the top 10 NFL players, and there are just the top 10 NBA players are just bigger, better, and more well-known.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell a girl who Jason Tatum is. You think she know who Nick Bosa is?
And maybe it's because people are wearing helmets and whatnot, but there's
I think that's more of a difference than people would ever care to know. But yeah,
it is a difference. I mean, like in the NFL, like who do you really know? The quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
With the NBA, obviously they don't have helmets, so you see everybody. But there's more like I always say this about the NBA. It's more of a casual sport because it's easier to follow, so it allows people to have more access to the sport because they can understand it. The NFL, it's more complicated. There's more rules. There's more things going on. And like with the helmet, like you may have like a superstar on defense, like let's say like Darius Slay, phenomenal corner, like a legit star in the NFL. But people don't know who the fuck that is.
And
like the casual person.
It's in what you just like on defense. So that means he's playing 50. He's on your television 50% of the time. Basketball, all players play offense, defense. You're on the screen. You're looking at them more often. And it's just the fact that there's fewer players. It's just more of a star-driven league. Like star-driven league is like the worst team. You still know who Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are. Like I know who guys on the Giants are because I'm a Giants fan. But like I don't expect anyone to know. Saquon Barkley.
But the NBA is so set up with like elite superstars, right? In their own right.
The NFL doesn't have it right now, other than like Patrick Mahomes. Like the NFL is struggling right now, and I think the NBA is just going to go past the NFL.
I think with the NBA, like we know the stars that are coming before they come. Like we were hyped about Wemby for like a fucking year before he even touched the league. Like they couldn't shut the fuck up about him, and then we had Chet on reserve, and that's not even like the best player on that team, right?
So is it about social media and the coverage? The coverage on social media is bigger for the NBA than it is for the NFL.
The NFL
versus
like,
television.
Like this thing about outside of quarterback, players don't last that long, bro. Yeah. Like you can have a star that's like let's say like you have like a running back, maybe like Saquon, right? Saquon is still in the league, but like a running back.
Todd Gurley is a good example.
Todd Gurley,
flashy.
He was taking over LA, bro, taking over like the fucking star, and then his knee said, "Oh, I don't want to play no more," and then that was the end of him. So like in the NFL, like the life expectancy, I don't say life expectancy, the career expectancy is not that long. So I think it's the difference. When in the NBA, you're gonna play for at least 10 years, at least. So it's the turnover. So I think, and it's the more violent sport. But the NBA is just in a great place right now. I think that it's way far than the NFL. It's like Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Well, the NFL broke up with its girlfriend, Tom Brady, and ever since Tom Brady left the NFL, it's gone to shambles.
Tom Brady leaving the NFL was the best thing that happened to the NFL. But we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
All right, Colin, your time to shine.
All right, boys. So got some crazy stats for you. I'm going to start off with I want you guys to tell me which stat is the real one. One of these is real, the other one is not. And then we'll open it up from there. All right. Karl Anthony Towns and Naz Reid are the only players in the league right now averaging more than 10 points per game on 50, 40, 90 splits. They end the year like that, they're going to be the only teammates in NBA history to accomplish that.
Real.
Tyrese Haliburton is right now shooting a higher clip from three than Steph Curry did in his unanimous MVP season. Which is the real stat?
That's real.
Which one?
The Tyrese one, because I just know how much I'm gonna hate it.
That's fake.
Which one's real? You're saying
the real one is the Cat and Naz Reid one, and the fake one is Steph Curry.
JBobby, you are correct. Yeah, Tyrese. I'll say this for Tyrese: he is shooting a higher clip than Steph did in his first MVP season.
I know ball. Who says I don't know ball? I know ball.
So with that, Tyrese MVP track. We already talked about MVP, but I wrote down, what do you think is more likely? The T-Wolves make the conference finals, riding Cat and Naz Reid, or Tyrese wins the MVP like Steph did?
The conference finals?
Yeah. Finals is too much. I feel like making the conference finals is a fair bar.
I'm gonna say the conference finals because, like, if Jokic does anything, the committee or the voters are gonna give him a blowjob. So I think that I know for a fact that Tyrese Haliburton isn't winning. I think he should be in the conversation. So that's a different thing. And I think he is the MVP right now. But I think that I already know how this is gonna go. Like the Pacers aren't a good enough team or strong enough to compete with teams like Denver Nuggets or like even shit the Bucks. So even though I think they can beat them in the tournament, but in a series, I don't think they could beat them. So my thing is like I already know. So definitely getting to the conference is more likely than Haliburton winning MVP.
Yeah, I think if the season had 10 to 15 more games left, I think Tyrese Haliburton has the chance to win MVP, but there's so many most valuable players that are just going to blossom towards the end of the season. We're going to get the Jokic and Embiid debate probably for the fourth year in a row. But if I had to pick something, I would say Minnesota probably makes the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's slept on that. I don't know if it was, I think someone on the Nuggets had to say this because I think I've heard people say it about the T-Wolves, and it's that the T-Wolves gave the Nuggets more trouble than anyone else in the playoffs this year. And that's slept on because it was first round and it was pushed away. But yeah, no, love the T-Wolves. So that was interesting hypothetical. Moving on. Kobe Bryant. Oh, you got something?
Oh, go ahead. My fault. I didn't know you was good.
I got two more. Kondo help me with these. So there are only 4 Kobe Bryant teammates who are left in the NBA right now. Can you name them?
Jordan Clarkson.
That's 1.
Julius Randle.
That's 2.
D'Lo.
3.
Is this going to be a tough one?
I've mentioned him today.
Has to be a Laker.
It's got to be a big.
Oh, this is tough.
Mentioned him.
What position?
Power forward.
Nas.
No. When in doubt, Nas Reed.
Yeah.
Power forward.
Nas.
Power forward. You mentioned him today. Pelicans.
No, B.I. wasn't in it.
Yes, Brandon Ingram.
No.
He wasn't on anything?
Oh, no, I was gonna say Josh Hart. That's an air ball.
No. You're close.
Is someone from that like trading Anthony Davis era?
I don't no, actually it's not.
Okay.
Had nothing to do with the AD.
Well, how
trade.
far?
What do you mean how far?
How far back was he on the team?
He was there for like I want to say like the Brook Lopez year. Feels right.
I'm stumped.
Damn.
Oh yeah, definitely. How could I forget? I really don't. Give me one more clue.
He said him today.
He can jump at the gym.
Oh, Larry Nance.
Yeah. I was either going to tell you that or I was going to say his dad played. But,
Yeah.
I don't know the clues.
All right.
So yeah.
That was a good game.
All right.
Last one. The Detroit Pistons currently have fewer wins than the Detroit Lions in the year of 2023, despite the Pistons playing 50 more games. So what the hell do we think is going on in Detroit?
Hey man.
Is it all Killian Hayes or do they just absolutely suck?
This is the only Detroit game I've watched all season, but it was when they played the Lakers, and it literally looked like a varsity versus JV matchup to the max. Like me in my freshman year playing against the dogs that were juniors and seniors. I mean, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, even Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell were bullying those guys. It's just completely mismatched. They don't deserve to even be an NBA team right now.
I'm going to keep it a stack. When people ask me this question, what's going on with the Detroit Pistons? I'm like, did you expect them to be good? Like, like seriously, I know they got Cade, they got a young roster, but like I had no hopes for the Detroit Pistons. So the Detroit Pistons being bad is no surprise to me. I just think that's normal. That's a normal occurrence.
I thought they would be better. I thought that I was a Monty Williams believer. I covered the Suns the year he was there, and he brought them from rags to riches.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it a stack. Coaching is great, but it's nice when you got Devin Booker.
That's a good
you know
point.
what I'm saying? It's nice when you got Chris Paul. It's a difference. You know, Cade and Killian Hayes and
Killian Hayes sucks. Killian
Jaden
Hayes needs to
Ivey.
be-
Jaden Ivey and the Thompson twin, they're not leading you to the promise.
They are very young.
Fewer
It
wins,
takes a
fewer
while.
wins than the
I'll
Lions
give
is
you-
bad.
I'll give you a better example. Fucking Monty Williams should not be to blame for the Detroit Pistons. I'm gonna tell you why. Look at the fucking San Antonio Spurs. They have a Hall of Fame coach that won multiple championships, and they still fucking stink. And they have the prodigy, the future of the NBA, and they're still fucking bad. The guy that they've raved about all fucking year, and they're still bad. But nobody is saying, well, we need to get rid of Pop because Pop can't do this. No, it's all about who you have on your team, who you have on your roster. It's all about players. So if you have a team that isn't good, maybe you need to start looking at your GM and not the coach. It's so much you could do. Now, if you get to a point where you're like, I don't like this lineup, and he folded here, he called the wrong time out, I can understand that. But if you just look at that roster isn't going to win you championships. So let's stop the bullshit with Monty Williams. Give him time, give him some players. I don't want to hear the bullshit. Like, you saw what he did with the Suns when he had players. So let's stop it.
Yeah, I think they're just like, I don't know if it's a couple of years away or never away, but they have a couple of pieces over the past couple of years that they've drafted. It's just not a complete team to win games right now. They're getting bullied like the Washington Wizards are. So it's going to take a couple of years. Look at a team like the Orlando Magic. They were saying that they've been building this for the past 3 years, and now they're actually a pretty darn decent team. Could Detroit be the next Orlando Magic?
I feel like every team wants to be the next. Like,
Yeah.
can they be the next?
It's an easy way to like look at and say, hey, we're not there yet, but we'll be like there.
Because I just look at
and say,
Detroit is horrible, but they have 3 or 4 guys that I'm like, all right.
I think they have
Thompson twin.
I think they have too many. I think their problem is they've taken on so many guys who are failed projects elsewhere and tried to develop them. And because there's so many, like, I don't believe that it's good for Jalen Duren to develop when you're also Marvin Bagley's kind of just like ass, but like you could say they took him as a project to also try and develop him. It's going to be hard to develop Jalen Duren when you have Marvin Bagley there and James Wiseman there. Failed like there's so much of this going on. They should give up on Killian Hayes, but like, how's that making it easy for Jaden Ivey? They got and Cade, and there's another guard there. The guy they drafted this year, Case and Wallace. Like there's no space for
Marvin
these guys.
Bagley was in high school when I was in high school, so you do the math on that.
Well said.
Well, listen, man, we're gonna play a game. Would you rather? And it's Klay Thompson. It's the Klay Thompson edition. So, would you rather have these NBA players or Klay Thompson? First, we have up on the to-do list Dylan Brooks,
Klay Thompson,
Sadiq Bey,
Klay Thompson,
Herb Jones,
Klay Thompson,
Herb Jones,
RJ Barrett,
Klay Thompson,
DeMar DeRozan,
Klay Thompson,
Kyle Kuzma,
Klay Thompson,
Jordan Poole,
Klay Thompson,
Darius Garland,
Klay Thompson,
Cam Thomas,
Klay Thompson.
I'm taking Cam. I'm rolling with my boy.
MPJ,
Klay Thompson, bro.
Klay Thompson.
Fred Van Vliet,
Klay Thompson.
We
don't need 2 short guys on that team.
Fred's a dog, but Klay Thompson.
Tobias Harris,
Klay Thompson.
Desmond Bane.
I think Desmond Bane would be a fantastic fit. Grizzlies are never doing that trade though.
Klay Thompson.
Last but not least, Dennis Schroeder.
Oh hell no, Klay Thompson.
The GOAT himself. No, Klay Thompson.
But to bring this up here, you said Jordan Poole. That was a legit argument last year. People were talking about, is Jordan Poole kind of the replacement for Klay Thompson? Does he fit better than what Klay is bringing?
Last year, I probably would have said Jordan Poole too.
Yeah.
Or just like the inefficiency swallowed them up.
Yeah.
All right. So another game. More games. The 2003-2004 All-Star roster.
That was when I was born.
Holy shit. The 2003-2004 All-Star roster. Can you name them? And we're gonna guess, right?
Let's go, Colin. Come on.
So I'm gonna give you a hint. Shooting guard.
Wait, is this East or West?
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, this is West.
Okay.
Kobe.
Oh, damn. We got a lot of yelling in the background. My bad. Okay, let's take a breath. Let's take a breather.
Let him do the read. Yeah.
Okay. Listen. All right. So we're doing East West, right? East West. I think so. We're doing a Western Conference. Can you guess the All Stars from 2003 to 2004? All right. Shooting guard, the Seattle Supersonics.
Ray Allen.
No.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Shooting guard again. Lakers.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You don't want to
I'm not gonna give you the team now. Guard again. Actually, I gotta give you.
Do you give me their college?
I gotta give you the team.
That makes it harder.
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Kevin Garnett.
No, I said
It's a
guard.
guard.
Oh, guard.
Mm. Oh no.
Sam Cassell.
Yes.
All right.
Brett knows ball.
Power forward.
TD.
San Antonio. Yes, correct.
Duncan.
God damn. All right.
Is he bisexual? Spicing up the clip.
Point guard.
The worst coach in Brooklyn Nets history.
Houston Rockets.
Ooh.
This clip is just going to be all 5 of you answering them, and then they're going to be like, God damn.
Steve Francis there then?
Yes.
Is that who it is?
Yes.
Sweet.
Holy
All right.
shit.
My goodness, mama, there goes that man.
I like my games.
You need help, brother.
Yeah, I gotta focus on other stuff.
We'll be playing the grids all day.
But KG is on there. You were right about that. All right, let's go to 2003, 2004 Eastern Conference roster All-Star. You hear me good? Say something. All right. All right. Point guard, New Jersey Nets.
Jason Kidd.
Of course.
Sure.
Vince Carter. I said Vince Carter. Oh, shit. I fucking gave it away.
Toronto
Toronto Raptors.
Okay, yeah.
Vince Carter.
All right.
Out of North Carolina.
Another guard, New Orleans Hornets.
Hornets, another guard. Was it the Bobcats or the Hornets then?
The Hornets.
2000.
I don't think I know this one.
He also played for the Knicks in his last years. Also played for the Clippers.
Chauncey Billups.
No. He also played for Golden State, we believe.
Is it
Baron Davis.
Yes.
that's what I was gonna say, but I don't know if he played for 5 teams.
Next guard, Philadelphia.
Allen Iverson.
Correct. All right, center, New Orleans Hornets. You're not going to get this.
Oh yeah, Omer Ashik. No,
Yo, shit.
nah, he was an all-star. Believe it or not. Emeka Okafor.
No.
That's crazy. The Hornets had 2 all-star starters.
Did he play anywhere else?
Marcus Camby.
No. I ain't going to lie. I wouldn't even get this. It's Jamal McGlure.
Oh, hell no.
That was on the tip of my tongue, honestly. No, it wasn't.
All right. That's everybody.
We did it. Yo, good teamwork, bro.
Great team. Bro knows ball.
Can't lie. I don't like that game.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I can do that. I got 5 of them. All right. Who would you rather build your team around? Chet or Wemby?
Wemby, easy question.
I
One's
mean,
19, one's 21.
you know, if you get the crystal ball and you start to look back to some of our past episodes, right? I said that Chet could be rookie of the year. And everybody was like, no, you're crazy. Da, da, da. And don't get me wrong. I'm impressed with Wemby now. I'll come to like appreciate Wemby. But Chet, I'd rather start my franchise with Chet. I just like the way he moves. I feel like, you know what Wemby gives me? He gives me like baby out of water. You know what I mean? Like a baby first learning to make his first steps. You know what I'm saying? And like Wemby is like, I feel like he's so tall that he'll never be able to guard side to side.
Did you just combine like fish out of water and baby.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that. I
you
like
know,
that.
Go
Go on now.
I just think that when I'm watching Chet, I feel like he's just more like obviously he's been around, but he hasn't played. I think he's just more his presence is felt. I feel like he looks more comfortable. I feel like he's moving better, and I know that's very generic to say because their numbers are damn near identical when you look at the numbers. So, but when I'm thinking long term, I feel like Chet holds up more like better. Like I feel like obviously they gotta both get in the weight room. But I feel like Chet is still more of a defensive presence there. I feel like I think Chet is somebody that I can really say right now is the rookie of the year. So if I'm going with him, seeing that he's the rookie of the year and seeing what I'm seeing now, I'm going with Chet if I want to build around in the franchise. I think there's more upside there than Wemby. And I know that sounds crazy, but they can do the same shit.
It's that they can do the same shit, and one's 19 and one's 21 and a half. So that's why I like Wemby better. And I mean, I think that Wemby, as far as potential, is just way better than Chet. He's a freak. There's a reason for all the hype. I think that we're roping them both together because
They're both skinny.
They're both skinny, and we want a rivalry. We want tick for
KD,
tack.
LeBron again.
I think one guy's just his ceiling is just a different level than the other.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the two? Like, let's think about this in perspective. What's the difference?
Wemby's just fucking bigger, and I think he's got a better handle.
How-
They're
but how
both
much?
very
But how
efficient.
much?
You want me to look it up? I don't know for sure.
Please, let's look at the stats.
Wemby height. No, I'm gonna have it. I'll tell you. Wemby is 6'4", Chet's 7 or 6'7", 3-inch difference.
That's tough.
Wemby is
That's
7'4", Chet's 7'1".
That's tough.
I bet you that wingspan's even longer too. I just think it's
Pause.
this is a I just think this is a thing where it's a product of we see this freak and this super hyped up guy, and we want him, we want like a tower to stand next to the other tower. And it's just like we're making this rivalry, and I'm here.
Let's
for
make
it, but-
war.
Exactly.
I believe that Chet's going to succeed earlier than Wemby does.
Yeah,
in
because
terms
he's
of
21. He's older. Like,
Yeah, but also
it's who do we want to build
the
around, not who's
situation.
going to be better for this year.
You know what
I'll
this
take the
remind me of?
21-year-old to be better this
This
year.
reminds me of the Zion and fucking RJ Barrett thing, right?
I would say Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell.
But the reason why I say RJ and Zion Williamson is because when RJ was coming out of high school, for some reason they put him the #1 high school prospect, and I mean maybe because Steve Nash is his fucking godfather, but they was just like, yeah, he's gonna be the most complete project, and he's better. His ceiling is higher than Zion's, and I'm like, how?
Yeah.
And now that we're actually seeing it, I'm like, of course Zion's better than fucking RJ. I would have Zion any fucking day.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying with Wemby, it's so early, but if I had to pick, I'm going Chet. I'm just saying. I like Chet a lot. I like his swagger. I don't fuck with the French.
shout out Gonzaga. He was only there for a year, but I think he's one of those guys that could go down. And I'm talking about Chet. I think Chet could go down as one of the greatest basketball players ever to come out of Gonzaga. And there's been a lot of great guys to come out of Gonzaga, and a lot of guys that have played at Gonzaga who have succeeded there, but not necessarily taken the next step to have the longevity of being a star in the NBA. There's a lot of great role players in the NBA from Gonzaga. Chet's a guy that can be the first real star.
Are you an Adam Morrison stan?
My mom went to Gonzaga back in '95, so she loves Adam Morrison more than I do.
That's great.
I think if you were to ask every NBA GM who would you rather start a franchise with, I think they would pick Wemby. I think Wemby would be the guy you pick out of a handful of guys.
And I think that's because of social media, honestly.
I don't.
So more than that.
I think the hype of Victor Wembanyama because of social media makes this debate not seem
You
realistic.
think NBA
but at the end of
scouts are letting social media?
yes,
dictate
bro.
what they think?
I think the Chet versus
Bro, they
Wemby
get
debate.
paid to watch films and reels, not TikToks, bro. You know what I mean? Tape.
Are you saying the NBA is starting a narrative? Say it.
I think the NBA, well, every league tries to do this. We saw it in the NFL when they were trying to do Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, even though that wasn't a realistic debate. Now look at it, right? Mahomes is 10 times better than Josh Allen. But
I think that's what we're dealing with. Yeah.
Yes and no. I just think the hype of Victor Wembanyama versus what we've actually seen from Chet, there's a debate to be had.
Well, because it's a different thing, though, because one is 21 and one's 19. What we've
I mean,
actually seen is different. You can see a lot less from the 19-year-old and expect him to do a lot more Whereas the 21-year-old, you can see it's more about what are you at now because he's mathematically closer to his prime than Wemby. Wemby has more room to grow.
Numbers guy, but listen, no, I'm not arguing that. But my
Jason
whole
Tatum
stance
was
before
19.
they even took the court, I was riding with Chet.
I know you are.
Always
I know you
been.
are. Yeah.
So like to see it now and seeing Chet at being honestly like he seems more comfortable, and I get it, it's the age thing, and he's been around the league. I understand that, but I'm riding with Chet just because I think long term, I think that he will be the better pro. I think like just because the age, but they're not that far in age, so I think there's more ceiling for Chet to grow and become better. So I think both of them are fucking scary. I appreciate both of them what they're doing. I think Chet is just going to be more polished when it comes down the line in his game. Now let's wrap this up. We got one more game left, man. We're gonna do guess the. You got a game? You got a game? You got a game?
Yeah,
oh, my fault.
I had a couple others.
Am I missing something?
We're pushing some stuff. But
I mean, do we want to talk Tyrese versus SGA? All right.
Oh, that's why I'm getting confused. My fault. My bad.
So Tyrese Haliburton or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
to build your franchise around, or who picking to win me a game right now?
To build your franchise around.
Tyrese Haliburton.
Tyrese Haliburton.
He's the quintessential point guard that we
I
like,
think-
right?
Yeah.
I think that Tyrese Haliburton, now we look at assists, right? I think that's super important. But when you can do that with scoring, I think that's like, because even the nights that you can't score, you can make plays. SGA, he's the scoring guard. Like, we know that, right? So he's one of those combo guards that can go just get you a bucket. His assist is kind of like 4 game. Like, I'd rather take Tyrese Haliburton any fucking day because he can make your team better. Point guards always do that.
I think this question is just showing how great the NBA is and how many stars are in the league right now. We just debated Chet versus Wemby and talking about how they're damn near identical. Tyrese and SGA are about as close as it gets when you talk about point guards. And there's 5 or 6 other guys we can bring up in that point guard conversation to talk with those guys. I mean, there's never been more talent in the NBA.
Okay. You say they're identical, though?
Who?
SGA and
No. I'm saying you could compare the
okay.
two of them in terms of their values.
Okay.
I think what you're saying about it being good for the league is great too. I think that SGA is a little bit more of a defensive all-around point guard, whereas Hallie's just like an offensive juggernaut superstar. And I think that you can teach a little bit more. You can take a guy who doesn't play as well on defense and like teach him up on defense and, you know, show a little bit more hustle in the playoffs and close that gap. I don't know if you can teach the kind of like special feel for the offensive game that Haliburton has. He's the closest thing to like a Steph, like Chris Paul kind of like hybrid that I think we've seen.
Anthony Edwards or Ja Morant?
It's hurting my heart.
I'm gonna just say this real quick. I think people were trying to say Ja Morant was better than Anthony Edwards when they played each other in the first round of the playoffs a couple of years ago, and I was so against that. I was someone that was saying Ja Morant makes the Memphis Grizzlies worse, which obviously that's an interesting take now.
That's a bad take.
My brother in Christ, look at their record right now.
But Anthony Edwards was always going to be better than Ja Morant.
Why?
Star power, his ability to make shots, and I think ultimately he's a guy.
Star power?
I would rather
Star power.
That's like when they asked LeVar
Wait,
how
listen.
is he going to get his kids to leave.
Listen-
He's
listen
like,
to
the
what you
big
just
baller
said.
way.
I would rather
run this back. Star power.
I would
This isn't
rather have
Mario
Anthony
Kart.
Edwards as my
Go ahead,
franchise guy. As my franchise
I agree
guy.
with you, but not for those reasons. I just think he's a more complete player offense.
I don't want
defense.
Ja Morant as my franchise guy.
Why?
He's still fucking
He's not
great.
playing right now.
He's gonna be back.
He's still that fucking guy. Let's not forget.
I'm not
And
a Ja
just a more
Morant
complete
believer.
player.
Listen, man, he's in a gun carrying state. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop. Let's stop. The
I'm not
nonsense.
even saying it for
Let's
that
get that boy
reason.
to New York.
I was saying Ja Morant ain't all that before that stuff, and what Anthony Edwards has now done in the past 2 years just gives me more of the
But saying
confidence.
Ja Morant isn't all that. It's just a crazy take because you can feel how you want to feel off the court, but you can see how that franchise is reeling right now. They
Yeah.
need that man back now. Ja Morant is a bona fide superstar, and he's up there. That's why I'm conflicted going back and forth. I say Anthony Edwards is like the next Michael Jordan, jokingly or not. He's one of those players that down the line that we have high hopes for Anthony Edwards. Now, Ja Morant, I think you can't fucking discredit what he's done for the Grizzlies and what he's done for the game. He's been one of the most exciting players. He reminds you of prime D Rose, was something that we've been missing. That athleticism, that jumping out the gym, and then just like he can get hot at any moment and just take over a game. There's nothing like that. Now, Anthony Edwards has those moments, but he hasn't hit Ja Morant's peak yet. So I'm gonna have to go with Ja right now, but maybe down the line is different. But I'm riding with Ja.
Anthony Edwards is a guy, and it reminds
Because wait, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Ja Morant got there. He was in Memphis by himself. Fucking Anthony Edwards got there when Cat was there. That's a difference. I mean, I shit on Cat a lot, but Cat's a really good fucking player. So that can help a player excel and get to a certain point. We haven't seen Anthony Edwards without Cat. So we will have to see that. So now I'm saying Ja Morant, it was Jaren Jackson, Dylan Brooks, and fucking Desmond Baines and fucking Steven Adams, which is a good fucking core, but it's still at the same time, Minnesota was already put in place.
Anthony Edwards is one of those guys, and by one, there's a very select few that you can look at them, and without them accomplishing anything in their career, you just say he could be the next Michael Jordan. And I feel that way about Jason Tatum. He hasn't won a championship, and I'm like, he's going to win 6 to 8 championships. Anthony Edwards, the way he carries himself, the way he makes shots in big moments, I think what Ja Morant has presented to this point in the NBA is about as much as we're going to see. He'll continue to do that, but we haven't seen the best Anthony Edwards yet.
I don't think we've seen the best Ja. I'm still rocking with Ant because he's a more complete player. I want to see Ja become a better shooter because we've seen what happens to guys who depend on their athleticism. And when that athleticism fades away when you're older, it makes it hard to stay in the league. Cough, cough, Russell Westbrook. Still doing it, but almost fell out of the league. We'll see what happens.
And finally, Jason Tatum or Luka Doncic.
Luka.
This is so tough. I feel like Luka is a more special player, but Tatum is a more complete player.
Bro,
take that as you will.
What we have seen to them to this point, there's no debate. It's Jason Tatum.
There is debate because I watched
Jason Tatum's had a
struggle.
sick team around him.
I've watched
Jason Tatum has had a sick
do nothing
team around him
win.
his entire
Obviously,
year. His entire career, he's had a sick team around him. Luka Doncic went to the Western Conference Finals with Spencer Dinwiddie and Jalen Brunson before he was Jalen Brunson.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. When I looked at Jason Tatum when he went to the finals, I'm like, oh, he's gonna become the guy. He's only 19, and I was like, he finally got to the finals, and man, did he stink it up.
Yes,
and
he
I'm
did.
like, all
yes,
right,
he did. Yes, he did.
maybe he's gonna learn from his lesson, and he's gonna go in the summer, and he's gonna do his Kobe mode. He's gonna text Kobe, and then he's just gonna put on the cape, and then he's gonna take it to the next level, right? And then he comes back, and he's having a great year. We're like, oh shit, they beat the fucking
Sixers.
They beat this. No, they. Oh wait, hold
The
on.
Hawks.
Hold on, yeah. I was like, oh, they're gonna do it. And then he just stuck it up that whole Sixers series. And then he ran into Jimmy Butler again, and he's gonna beat Jimmy Butler, and he's gonna continue that fucking I'm better than Jimmy Butler, and I'm running the East. No, Jimmy Butler takes over with a fucking 8th seed, or maybe a 9th seed. Maybe he was the 8th. They lost a fucking 8th seed. So if Jason Tatum is continue to do that, there's no way I'm gonna put him over Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, he beat the Suns when the Suns were supposed to be the shit and on the way to a fucking championship. And then he did the fucking, remember when D-Book did the Luka special? He made him fucking pay for it.
Sir.
So I'm seeing more for Luka, and I can trust Luka in critical situations more than I can do for the Celtics, because the Celtics have been loaded year after fucking year, and they still haven't been able to get it done. Now they got KP. If they can't do it now with giving Jaylen Brown the super max, how the fuck am I ever going to trust Jason Tatum to be better than Luka Doncic?
I mean,
for one game, I'll take Tatum because of the offense defense, but I think Luka is the closest thing to Nikola Jokic that we have right now. So that probably makes sense. That probably makes sense why you underrate him, but he's, as far as offensive hub, does absolutely everything. He's so fucking special.
This is no hate on Luka Doncic. He's right up there. It's Tatum and Luka as the next two guys for this league. But my point earlier was the fact that what we've seen to this point from both those guys, it's obviously Jason Tatum. Now I look at it from an opinion, and I say to myself, Jason Tatum, he ain't Kobe Bryant. He's not LeBron James or Michael Jordan. He's actually all three of them combined, and we haven't seen the finished product. He's not Paul George.
Yeah,
he's better than Paul George, and he's going to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest ever.
So he's like those memes where you're like putting together the greatest player ever.
He actually did it on his pot. He's a fantastic two-way player who can create his own shot. At times, looks like the best player in the league, but has folded in the playoffs. That is Paul George.
Jason Tatum has
He's
no
young,
weaknesses.
so he might evolve past that. But
I'm so hot right now.
I had to take my fucking coat off.
Oh my god, I'm dying. Oh yeah, my fault. Oh yeah,
because of the take or the room temp.
a little bit of
going
both. Okay. So
that's
you got anything? You got anything?
I'm chilling.
All right, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's do guess the college and let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, we skip over. All right, my
Yeah,
bad.
it's like
Man,
us.
players. Fuck me then.
Yeah, shut
up. Listen, man, Jack, you restore my feeling. I feel like this is gonna be a great. Yeah, just do this, Colin. All right, you got the juices flowing today. I feel like it's gonna be a very exciting second half of the season, even though we didn't get to the second half yet. But it's still gonna be exciting for us. Like I said, go to thegameday.com for the best FanDuel offers. 5 into 150 free money, not yours. So go to thegameday.com if you like betting like me to get the best offers from FanDuel. 5 to 150. All you gotta do is place 5 on the money line. You get 150 back, and you can do whatever you want with that. New customers only, baby. Get that bread. Let's make this money. And also like and subscribe as always. You know what I'm saying? Hard in the paint with JBobby and Colin and Jack Coley. Let's make it. I said Cody. Let's make it fucking happen. New York, Boston, Pennsylvania, the Northeast corridor, baby. We're out here, gang.